everyone, welcome
Stream
to
on.
Tech Down Over. This is our pre-show show. So the stream is on. We are live. Jeff is right next to me, 7,000 miles away.
Yep. Nearly next year.
Nearly next to us. A mere quantum thought. You know, if you think about the word quantum, when somebody says, I have quantum consciousness, that means they have a very teeny-weeny conscience. If you think about it. Because quantum physics is all about minute, teeny-weeny little particles. Just saying.
But it's a bit like everything. People say something's been decimated when they believe it's been wiped out, which doesn't mean. It means reduced by 1/10, doesn't it?
Reduced by 1/10, yeah.
Yeah, but they mean obliterated.
We were talking to one guy yesterday who said, you know, he doesn't believe in diverse because diverse is 2.
Oh.
He's got a point. You've just split diverse versus unique.
It's funny that a lot of the things we say don't make sense when you really analyze them. So
no, but he had a great line. He was on the Life Edge show, and Susan asked him, "What's the one thing in life that really has given you the edge?" And he said, "Well, you know, if you don't live life on the edge, then you're wasting space." That was a great line.
Oh.
It was quite a good line.
Well, how's my sound today, Rick?
Sound good.
Good. Guess
everything sounds good.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Yep. Guess what I'm working off today. I'm working off. No, not just the microphone. Yes, it's the C1. C1. But what I am working off is the Aphex 230.
The 230. Wait a minute. Don't you have the studio channel?
Yes, I do. But my Aphex 230 kept blowing all the fuses.
It fixed.
Well, it's supposed to be fixed.
Wow. So was it actually shorting?
It was power leakage.
Oh,
so it said it was power leaking from it somewhere, and he fixed that, so that's what was blowing the fuses. So
there's nothing.
It was worth $190 to find that out.
Yep. And you can't put a diaper on those things when they leak either. So.
And I still think the 230 does a bit smoother sound than the newer ones.
You agree? It's different. I like both, but the 230 is almost
I do too,
richer.
but they've got different sounds.
They're both tube. They both have tubes, but there are small differences. They'll say, no, there aren't. It's your ears. No, I don't know. I notice a small difference.
Plus also
next week,
it'd mess around with all the settings, so it'll take me a week to get the settings back.
Can't you copy the one from the studio channel?
Ages.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
Well, you sound good, though.
Oh, no, yeah, because I thought it did, too. I thought it sounded really good.
That's pretty cool. So you have 2 now Aphexes.
Yes, I can put one in another studio area, which is because I've got another like a closet area which is all covered in for sound. So if I want a really quiet area, and I can put that up there to do that as well. So
yeah, what people don't realize is that Jeff and I don't live in homes; we live in studios.
Mm-hmm.
It pretty much becomes that. I have 1.5 studios at home. I've got the studio here. My other office is a semi-studio. We don't live in homes. We just have a studio.
No. Well, this used to be, this isn't a bedroom. It's a studio now.
It's a studio, yeah. Right by the city.
That's right, yep, right by the city.
It's a good view. You've got a great view out there.
Have, yeah.
I like that.
It's always summer in this shot.
It's just a beautiful shot. Well, of course, you're always summer. You don't snow over there.
But I tell you what, now it's been quite good. It is still quite warm. We've been in the 20s all this week. So
now,
what's about the 70s your area, I think it is. So.
Is that the road arm?
Yes, it is, yes.
It is, yeah. P something or other. I forgot the number.
Yeah, the PS1 or something.
PS1, yeah. I like that one. But I like the Hio better because it's higher.
Yeah.
With the riser. You buy the riser. You could buy a riser for that, I imagine. And then it would be a lot higher. But it looks good where it is. In my case, it was too far. I had no choice but to get a riser.
Oh, okay.
If I had a smaller area here, I could have used that one fine. And the studio projects, you like it, don't you?
Sorry?
You like the studio projects, don't you?
Oh, yes, it's good. The only thing I was thinking of getting was actually just getting a desktop microphone stand for this, because just sometimes this gets in the way a bit too much.
Right. Yep.
For the show.
Yep. It's big, but it looks cool. That's what counts. It's all how it looks. All right.
So it's been good with the getting on the YouTube now, though, isn't it? It's good having that live streaming.
I know, it's fun.
Seems to be working
we
really good.
almost had Tony Northrup on today, but he couldn't make it. So Corey was busy, so he never got back to us. So we'll work at some other. I think we have somebody next week, and we've got the angry photographer in May.
Sorry,
we have the angry photographer in May.
Oh yes, that would be good.
He's going to be interesting. I think he's actually
pretty good. I like what he does.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's start the show recording. Mm-hmm. Shall we? In 3, 2, 2.5. Just getting that anxiety going. You feel good? 1, and here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech Down Over. It is show number 70-something, 73, I think. We're cranking. Lots of shows. And we're here. Jeff's over there in Australia with his Studio Projects, or actually Studio Project C1 microphone.
That's correct.
And the cool Rode stand, Australian stand. He's being true to the economy. And he's got Melbourne behind him. I think that's Melbourne, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
It's a beautiful view. Here we go. We are back. Whoa, Jeff. I got some new toys.
Oh,
and you know
I've just
this
been
one.
waiting.
This is the Osmo. I can't believe how small this box is. I thought it'd be bigger. It's amazing.
No.
It's really teeny. For those who don't know, the Osmo is a 4K camera with a stabilized hand grip gimbal. And it's amazing. Jeff has one of these, and he showed it before, and it does an incredible job. And I've been holding off. I've been really holding off. And then what threw me over the edge was Jeff Harris last week when he showed it at NAB with those weird angles he was getting perfectly stabilized. And I went, oh, darn. Okay. All right. I succumb. I'm sorry. I got one. Haven't opened it yet. This came this afternoon. The Osmo from DJI. They must be $1 billion company by now with all of us buying this stuff. So that's the Osmo. And, I got a Canon. You know this one, right?
Which Canon? Oh, my God, you didn't.
You recognize it?
Yes.
And it has a little handle that kind of turns. So I can kind of...
Oh, it's not that one, is it?
And it can go this way. And
it's not the 10, is it?
It is the 10. It's the XC10.
How did they convince you to get that?
I've been looking at the videos on YouTube. and you know what? They look great. And I've been watching new reviews, not just, the initial complainers. It's a nice camera. Perfect? No, I've only had it for an hour. We just got it this afternoon. We opened it, took a couple of test shots. I was very impressed with the test shots. It's small. It doesn't weigh more than probably maybe 2-3 pounds. I don't think it's 5. It's got the zoom lens. It's a pretty nice zoom. It actually goes out pretty well. It looks like they got the same Nikon screen that everybody's been using, which which
Yeah, the little
goes
flip out,
up.
not the tilty one,
Yeah,
rather
it
than the
tilts.
flip
It
out.
just tilts and pulls out. It looks exactly like the Nikon one in the D750. It's a nice screen, though. It's not bad. Batteries go under here, SD cards, and the CFast card. They're expensive. CFast is not a cheap card. That goes in here. There's a little slot under there, which I'm not succeeding in opening right now. But, oh, here it is. It's a pretty cool camera. There we go. So the card slot is right in there. So you have the CFast, and then you've got the SD cards, SDXC. The quality of what it shoots is pretty amazing. It's clean. You can go into the AV mode, TV mode. So you've got aperture mode, shutter mode. You've got program mode. You have auto. You have full auto. If you have no time to play with this camera, go in auto. It takes good video. It's pretty amazing, actually. And then you have, I think, full manual. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. And you have scene mode. So if you want to set up a specific scene, you could set up a whole mess of scenes in here. Shoots, this goes up to 350 megabits a second. That's fast. That's a lot of data going through. And as you're shooting, I think it tells you how many minutes you have left. I think I have 90-something minutes left on this particular CFast card. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little camera. It also does Canon C-Log, which is a very good cinema profile that it's if you really want to go and do all the grading. But if you don't want to, you've got standard profiles, you've got other picture profiles. So this, to me, this is what I thought the C100 was in terms of profiles. I don't know why they don't put these profiles in the C100. I would have kept it. If it had had the profiles, I would have kept it. The way they make it, it's strictly cinema, and you have to grade everything. I don't have time for that. So in this one, I don't have to grade everything. You can grade what you want, and you ignore the rest. It's pretty cool.
And the thing is, with grading, even if you have the time for grading, you've just got to be skilled enough to do it correctly.
I know. I played a little bit, and this thing with stabilization on, it's like being on a tripod when you pan. It is that smooth. So yes, I bit the bullet. I got it. It had a $500 instant rebate, so it was about $19.95 versus $2,500 or whatever it was. Not bad.
Now, is that a video camera? So it has unlimited recording?
Yes, unlimited. It's really a video camera. And then it has
it
photos. You can switch. There's a little switch here to go to photos or video. They said it can
that's where it gets a bit. That's where it gets a bit silly. It says about 4K pictures. Yeah. Wow.
What it does is what the Panasonics do. It takes a 4K burst. That's how you do a picture here. And they have a time-lapse mode, which, again, takes 4K bursts. And I was looking at some videos on YouTube of the XC10, and it was good. It has over 12 stops of dynamic range, so it's got a lot of dynamic range. And it does really well. It's only 12 megapixels, just like the A7S Mark II.
Yeah,
but
that's right. Yeah,
it's probably not. It doesn't go as high on the ISO, but what it does look clean. I was pretty impressed. I saw some night footage in a city, and this was very clean. So I think we're going to take this one over to Orlando and use it for the Lectora user conference.
Oh, well, that'd be good, because that's the thing with the good thing with that. It's the size. It's a full-blown video camera that you can have non-stop recording in that same small form factor.
I know. It's almost like a DSLR. It's different in shape, but it has this whole flat thing right here, and you can just put your palm there, and it's pretty stable. So interesting. I was going to surprise you with this one because you didn't expect this one.
No, it didn't.
And remember, anytime I'm going to surprise you, it's something I swore I would never buy.
Yes, that's right. I was just thinking that, what do they say? You can't sell, ice to the Eskimos?
Yes, I'm an Eskimo. Ice, whatever you want. Yeah. Summer resort in Anchorage. Yep, that's me. I'll buy it.
But even then, putting all that aside, there must be some things good, because I mean, you can't have a product like that just
No.
nobody likes. There's got to be some redeeming features for it, and as you said, you always find a particular use for something. It's like the microphones. Yes, technically we can get away with just one microphone.
Oh, sure.
But you have a different one for different jobs that you want. And I do like with that Canon, you do have the handle, the way it moves around.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is quite a big. So instead of having the flippy viewfinder, you've got the flippy handle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that buys yet, but it's interesting. It's a little small, but it's comfy enough. It's comfy enough. My hands are a little big for it, but it's not bad. But again, this camera was built to be an ENG camera. It's an electronic news gathering camera. So this is for reporters, people. But I'll tell you, I'm watching the stuff on YouTube, and people are taking some beautiful video with this, and they're not working hard at it.
No.
That's the key. If you go in auto mode on this thing, it shoots really nicely. I was actually surprised how well this thing shot. So, not bad. Not bad. It also does clean HDMI output. You can get a really clean output from here into your Atomos, for example, your Assassin, and you get your 4K backup right here. So that's good. You can hook up. Now, it's interesting. Does not have XLR microphone input, so you would still need a Beach Tech or a Zoom, what was it, F8 or G8, whatever it was called. I think it's F8.
But that's not a big problem, because every time I've sort of looked, you've got plenty of cameras, got the XLR connections on it, but when you want a serious mic, you don't connect it to the camera anyway. You nearly always connect it to an external source, and syncing's become so easy these days in all the video editors, where years ago it was a nightmare to sync audio with your video, but now we would do pretty hard not to be able to sync it correctly.
We would do this. All right, everybody ready? Camera rolling, camera rolling, camera rolling. And that would be
have you seen the latest one? The proper. There's a program out, I forget the name now, but that does all the audio syncing.
Yeah.
And somebody said, well, what's the point of buying your product as opposed to every other video editor you can sync it? Said, yeah, well, a video editor program, you have to say, sync this file with this clip, and it syncs it. But what this program does, you throw all your files in it, and it finds the video and syncs it to it.
That's right. That was Red Giant, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Wasn't that a Red Giant tool?
No, it was Plurality.
Oh, right.
Pluralize. Not pluracy. Pluralize.
And after you sync, you die.
Pluralize that's where it all came from for syncing. But one of their things is if you put video clips, you've got a dozen video clips, and then you've got 24 audio clips, throw them in the same one, and it finds the right clip and syncs it and makes a copy with a synced file in it. So that's the one I struggle with syncing, is you've got to normally say this file goes with this clip. But with that one, it just does it. So it's well worth. I think it costs about $2.99. But if you're doing that a lot, that's a really big time saver, I think.
Yep. Now, I've been doing a lot of filming lately with just podcasts and stuff like that outside of the studio, and I still think the Nikon, the D750, is probably the best camera I've got for video in terms of 1080p. It's so clean. If you've got the right lighting, the right lens on it, it's amazing. You'll see, I'll be putting some out this weekend probably, and they were done with the Nikon D750, 1080p, with just the Westcott Flex light as the light, so it's about here, and they're sharp. The videos are really clean and sharp, just beautiful. And the microphone, I just input the Rode wireless mics into it. And the Shure wireless into it.
Sure.
And they said it sounds really good. The Sennheiser wireless works well, but the video quality is just as good as their photo quality, which is beautiful. If I compare Canon and Nikon, Nikon's still nicer. Sony's good too, but I don't like the form factor. They're just too small for my hands. They feel teeny.
But with you saying that, it's also got me thinking about the Nikon 750, because I've seen some of your shots with the video, and it is just so clear. It might not be 4K,
Right.
but that's the best 1080 footage I've seen on a camera like that. And you've got this. I think the lens that I liked the best with it was I think the Sigma 24-70. That's probably about
that's
a good
Tamron. That's a Tamron 24-70.
Tamron, sorry, not Sigma, Tamron. That's right.
And it's amazing. It's a beautiful lens. And the stuff I shot this week was the 35mm Tamron. It's a beautiful prime. They're just good lenses. And I don't think I have a Sigma for the Nikons. I may, but I don't think I do. I have it for the Canons.
Did you check your Nikons against the website to if there's any issues with yours?
Didn't seem to be. I think mine was not part of that.
Yeah, because there was one where you could type in your serial number to see if there was. But I think you've convinced me. I'm going to go for one of those 750s with the Sigma, not the Sigma, I keep saying the Tamron 24-70 mm lens, because I was just so impressed with the still shots as well as the video. Now, it's good to have one that just does excellent in both formats.
Now, if you do get the Nikon, they do have the kit lens. And the kit lens is $1,000 lens, which you get for about $200 or $300 as the kit. And it's not a bad lens. That's I think it's an 18-105, maybe 120. Okay. I can't remember what it was. Very clean, very clean. Not as fast as the Tamron, but not slow either. One thing you're going to get used to is when you are using the full frame cameras, the focus, even though it's fast, is not as fast as the Micro Four Thirds. They just whiz.
Oh, okay.
Like the Panasonics are so quick, but the difference is I don't think they look as nice. They're not bad, but I think the full frames really still do look better in photos. Some things are really good, but you need to spend very expensive glass to get very good on a Micro Four Thirds. Other than that, I think the full frames still have that slightly higher dynamic range. They do better in the highlights and stuff. They just look good. And Canon also, Canon looks really good, but I think Nikon actually looks better, and they seem to have better focusing systems. So it's just a question of what you like. And so now I've got 3 different lines where cameras. So we've got Nikons, we've got Canons, and we've got Panasonics. And I love the Panasonics, but I'm still more excited right now by the full framers. It's interesting.
Well, what's still on our bucket list is to get as many people as you've got cameras together and film an event. So we've got up to about 29 people now. We need.
That'd be funny. That would actually be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't that be great though? If you get every one of your cameras and at an event, and say, okay, all films, put it on a tripod, film it, and let's put it all together and see what you got. I think that would be good fun if you can do that.
Definitely different, and then see how good it is. The hardest part is, trying to get all the different sensors together, and most of the sensors today are made by Sony. That's what's funny. Everybody's got a Sony lens. So, but then I guess you have to write your own firmware, and that's where things kind of go funny. But, Canon supposedly has some new stuff coming out, possibly the, what's it called? The 5D Mark IV, if they do that, unless they give it a new name. That might be interesting because there's rumors it will have 4K. And that may be in the 2,500 to 3,000 range. That would be good. They do have the new Canon 1DX, I believe it's called. That's 5,000 or 6,000, but it does 4K, and it's beautiful. It does very nice pictures. That's a lot of money.
But they're probably meant for people who're really into the sport, so aren't they? The very, very fast cameras.
What is it, 15 frames a second?
Yeah, probably a bit too much overkill for what we do, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's 15 frames a second on the 1DX. Now Nikon, I don't get this, comes out with the 5D, which does 4K for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the incredible mental power to grasp that. It's just beyond me. it's cosmic. Why would you do 3 minutes? I don't know. 3 minutes?
No, ridiculous.
3 minutes.
I
Unless
also
it's for
looked this
microblogging.
week, Rick, there was talking about the Osmo before, and I saw they've even got another little accessory that you can put on your Osmo that does another bit of stabilization on it. So it's like a little arm that goes on it that pushes it out even further.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's quite a good little thing.
You know, the Osmo's popular. I was talking to Sammy, to Larry at Sammy's. They can't keep them in stock. When I called on Monday or Friday, I think last week, no, Monday, he said, we're out. I said, when do you think you'll get them? He goes, maybe by the end of the week. Okay, let me know. And by Wednesday, he had it. They had a whole mess more in. They keep coming in. They keep going out. It's a very popular 4K camera with gimbal.
I'm just trying to see if I can show you this this little stand thing, if I can find out get where I am. Up here, I can't see myself. I'm in the way of me shot there, so I can't find myself here. Where am I trying to find it here? There it is. I think that's it. Can you see that little thing?
Yes.
That's the little arm that's goes onto that to even gives it more stabilization.
So it's actually more stabilized with that?
Yeah, well, but even then, with what I've got there, it's not that bad anyway. So I did a video this week, and I put it on the bike with the bike mount, and the only time it got a bit shaky was when I was getting over about the 35 kilometers an hour going down a hill. It was really fast, and I didn't mind it being bouncy then. I didn't expect it to be super duper good steady when I was doing that, but it did a really darn good job. And also as well, I did on there was a time lapse on there, so you can do a time lapse, so it can record one shot one frame every second or every 2, 10 or whatever. And I did that, and then took some of the still shots it did in that off that, and it came up with some really good still shots. And it has a great little feature on there. There's just one little button that you just press, and it just takes still shots as well.
Now,
so it does a really good job as that.
Is the Osmo a little bigger than a GoPro, or somewhere around the same size?
Well, no, it's smaller. The actual camera would be smaller in the Osmo. It's a GoPro's a bit bigger in the camera size.
Okay. Wow.
But what I like with the Osmo is it's got the little screen that you can hook up through your phone so you can see what's happening.
Okay.
But what I like to use it for, don't use that. I'd take that off and just point it and start filming, because the things you want to do, you usually know, well, if you point it in that direction, you're going to get it. It's the only time you need the little monitor on it if you want to be a bit more precise in your filming. But that's what I like, the small form factor. And you can, whereas you would like the DJI Ronin with your camera on it with a nice stable shot, sometimes you just haven't got the time to get it set up. Whereas this, if you've got it in your bag, you just take it out, and people don't see what you're doing. You can do nice ground shots, undersling it, and it does some really good shots.
It just goes, right? Just goes.
And the only thing I would suggest is getting it comes with a 16 gigabyte memory card, but I'm just going to get myself a new one today for up to it takes up to a 64 gigabyte.
Yep.
But the 16, when I was doing it, I didn't get too much out of that. If I did say about 10, 15 minutes, that's about all I could get out of that card.
I got 2 of the micro SD 64 gigabytes. So I haven't tried them yet.
Good.
Yeah, you said it only goes up to a maximum of 64. Yeah.
Maximum of 64. Yes, that's what you can't get any. You can fit the other ones in it, but it just won't work. So
now that's
really good for that.
The XC10 has, and it's an interesting decision, because even the Canon C100 did not have a CFast card. So this has a CFast, which is expensive. It comes with one 64 gigabyte CFast from SanDisk. That's probably about $150 by itself. I bought a 128 from Amazon, and it was $249. So they're not cheap for what you get, but they're fast. They do like 540 megabits per second. It's a lot of data in 1 second. And then it has an SDXC, so you have both. But it won't write 4K unless to the CFast card, so that's a limitation. Now,
It won't?
interestingly enough, the Panasonics can write 4K. Okay, but the Panasonic's highly compressed. This isn't. This is more uncompressed. It's pretty. It's pretty non-compressed. There's some compression, but they're big files from what I'm seeing. So I'll see. I'll let you know how big the files are when you start editing them. But they said they edit cleanly or easily.
Well, it's good to see though with the changes that they announced at NAB with Adobe, with the Adobe Premiere, that they're changing the ingest workflow so you can use proxies because the videos are getting much bigger files.
Right.
The normal native using the native file is becoming harder and harder to use. With 1080p, it's not a problem, but as they're getting up higher, so they're changing their workflow. So it's quite similar to, so I believe would be is the Final Cut working with the proxies. So
Right.
it won't. It will be easier to edit. So you might have to start using your Premiere Pro for that as well. Well, you
Have
do that
noticed
now
that
anyway.
short of the Mercury render engine, Premiere doesn't really lead. They sort of just follow.
But
'Cause a lot of
as
the
I said,
stuff-
that's one good thing that's coming out of that changes. And with you having your Creative Cloud, you'll get that eventually when it comes out. It's not there yet, but I think it's going to be there shortly. So by the time you're ready to be doing some footage, and that's allowing for 8K, so you should be fine with that
8K,
one with your
wow.
4K.
Well, I'm going to be using probably not Premiere on this right now. I'm probably going to be using the Sony Catalyst suite.
Oh, yes.
Catalyst production suite. I'm interested. So far, I've done a little bit of editing with it. I'll be doing a lot more this weekend. I like it. It's not that hard to use. It's really easy to color correct on it, or even do a little bit of color grading. It has it has the browse, which is really just for camera browsing and stuff. It's got prepare, lets you prepare all of your files ahead of time, and then you've got edit, which allows you to do almost, not quite all, a lot of the editing functions. I've also got that Resolve, DaVinci Resolve, I think 12.5. I haven't downloaded the 0.5 yet. That's a pretty good video editor as well. Not a bad way to go. So I'm thinking maybe might even use that just to test it out. It's a free video editor. If you've never played with DaVinci Resolve, go to the DaVinci.com site, and it's owned by Blackmagic Design, and it's a free video editor and one of the best color grading tools in the industry. The free version is slightly crippled things that most people wouldn't be using anyway. Not a bad deal. It's pretty good. Now, this week I've been playing with camera software, remote camera software on a phone to control your camera.
Oh, yes.
Panasonic so far has the best I've seen. You can change your focus. You can change your aperture, your shutter speed, your ISO, everything, and then take a shot or a video. With Nikon, it's as dumb as a stump. It takes a picture and copies it. What if I want to do something else? You can't. That's it. Take picture, copy. Click, take picture, copy. Click, take picture, copy. Dumb. Canon, almost as stupid. A little better, because you can actually take video and picture. Ooh, they're really advanced. Other than that, dumb. And I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, how hard is it to create an app? Everybody else is creating good apps, but not Canon and Nikon. They're rather idiotic apps. And they don't do that much, which is a shame. You have all this ability on these cameras to do more, and they don't. So,
well, I had the same thing with the Panasonic, as you said. I just had the cause to take a couple of pictures last week of something against a white background with all my lights to do it properly lit. But if you didn't have a good wireless app, you get into the shot and you put casting shadows on it.
Yes.
So the only way I could do it properly was step out of the shot and have a look how it was framed and use the app to make sure it was good and change all the settings on the camera.
Yep.
And it did a really good job. But as you said, it's a really usable app on the Panasonics. It uses everything. You can change everything on it, stream the video, do whatever you want. It's really good. But as you said, the Canon ones and the Nikon ones are fairly basic.
Yeah, at least the Canon and Nikon can sort of do focus. In fact, I think the Nikon didn't even do focus. The Canon one did. So at least the Canon won. Canon wins, Nikon 0 when it comes to apps. But neither was that good. They're okay. And Canon is even more painful. To connect your app, you have to type in about 20 numbers. You know how error-prone that is on a device? Whereas Panasonic, as you know, puts up a nice QR code. You put your phone near it, clink, I'm connected, life is good. How easy is that? So those little things are just impressive on one. I don't know how Sony does it. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't as hard. It was more like Panasonic, but Sony's, I heard, isn't that good either as a remote app.
And the Panasonic works good on the HCX1000 video camera as well. That works really good on that too.
Yeah. So just interesting. Now Panasonic's got to come out with that GH5 eventually. We're now in May next week. Nothing.
May, it's nothing. No.
Nothing. Not yet. No announcements that I've seen. So it's going to come out eventually. They've got to do something really good, because that was one of the biggest selling cameras 2 years ago. And I'm starting to think that the thunder is going away from it. It's been too long. And Sony stole a lot of that thunder. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so they left the momentum a bit more if they kept going a bit, because it's a very popular camera. Nearly everybody who I watch and that can keep my eye on, they've all got a GH4 and really love it. But they're all getting the other ones as they come out, and if they don't keep up with everybody else, they'll get left behind a bit.
Yeah, and I tell you, I would probably invest in Sony, but I don't like the form factor. I really don't like the cameras that small. My hands are big. I don't feel comfy. And, you know, you put a big lens on it, now you're like, just not that comfy. So, yeah. But
I've been looking at a new tripod as well this week, so I've got my eye on a new Manfrotto video tripod. So now, if I get that, I'll let you know.
You convinced me to buy that other brand. What was it called? I bought one of them.
Benro?
Yeah, Benro. What's making you go back to the Manfrotto now?
Because the Benro, is for the same sort of one, is even dearer here than the Manfrotto at the moment.
Really?
So.
Wow. Because the Benros are nice.
I think the Manfrotto was a bit better build quality. I actually went and saw one the other day, but it did seem a bit better build quality than the Benro.
But either way you're looking at, you're going to be carrying 20 to 25 pounds, right?
I don't think it doesn't seem to be that heavy, but it's got the half ball mount head, which I wanted with the fluid head. I've got the standard fluid head, but it's just on the flat base. And then you have to adjust the legs to get the balance correctly. With the half ball mount, it's much easier to get it balanced or leveled much easier.
Right.
And plus, I'd want another one to start using my slider a bit more, but I've got a few crummy tripods, which they're okay for the little GoPros or the little webcams and that, but no good for a solid slider on there. And I've got one of me good tripods doing this here, holding me good camera here. So it'd be good to get another decent tripod so I can start using my slider. As you know, I've got the Canovo slider with all the pan and tilt head, but it's so awkward sometimes to take it all out. I've taken everything off that and just going to use the slider by itself to get some shots out there. I've got a bit of work to do to get it out and about, but I've got to try and get some more shots using that.
Now, maybe as soon as next week, we had Martin Sinclair earlier in the week. I don't know if you've had a chance to see that one yet.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
And he was talking more about NDI, the network device interface. And next week, I think we will be sending you not a TV reflection, but through the network, the output of the show. So you'll see right in your Skype, just like you're seeing now, but not through a webcam. That'll be pretty cool. Hey, by the way, You know how your Intensity Extreme really heats up, and then you've had all the memory issues with the Mac and everything?
Yep.
Well, we got the new Asus computer the other day,
and
it runs beautifully. It has 4 3.0 USB ports. It has 2 3.1. One is a 3.1 by itself. The other one is a Thunderbolt 3. Thunderbolt 3 is not compatible with 2 or 1, supposedly.
No.
So I had to look for a solution. We had bought the box from Tom Sinclair. It's Thunderbolt 1. It won't run on them. All the notebooks now are Thunderbolt 3. There's a StarTech controller or adapter that's coming out soon, maybe June. People have been waiting for it now 7 months. So we unfortunately had to return the box to him, or we canceled the order, and I ordered instead 2 Magewell HDMI to USB 3 dongles, and the video capture looks amazing on it. It's gorgeous. They work really well. I would probably not do more than 2 on any one machine, because you still have the US bus, which is somewhat limited, but it can handle 2 really well. It shouldn't be any issue. And the quality was as good or better than Blackmagic. So it acts as a webcam. You don't need any drivers at all. The minute you connect it up, you can put in your XA10. I did it on the Nikon. Connect, boom, perfect. It looks just like a Nikon image coming in on it. That's pretty cool. You can even hook up an external machine that's outputting a video card output into it, and now you can you can now have that other machine on your machine showing up as a window. It works with Skype. It works with everything. Really
because
cool.
I was seeing that before was saying about the Thunderbolt 3 connection. Somebody else was saying that. I was watching that. It's great, but nothing will fit to it because everything else is 1 and 2. All the 1 and 2 devices will not fit to it. So was that on the Asus machines?
Yeah, the Asus. I got the G752, Republic of Gaming.
Have you still got that?
G752, DH4, I think something. It's nice. It actually runs pretty good. It's very quiet. It's got a 17.3-inch screen. It's a large. It's probably about 4.5 kilos, so it's pretty large. That's about 9 pounds, but it's nice. It's very cool. Has a big fan unit in the back that just keeps the heat out.
Okay.
So far so good. It came with 24 gigabytes of main memory, 6 gigabytes of video memory, which is pretty darn good.
Oh, that's cool.
With an NVIDIA GTX 970. That's not bad. And a 256 SSD as your main drive, and a 1 terabyte secondary drive.
Does that have a standard Thunderbolt connection on it?
It has 3, Thunderbolt 3, but it's a rewired C1 or USB 3.1C. So that's how
the
they
new
do
C
that.
connection.
Yep, but the Magewell works on 3.0 beautifully. It was fast.
Yes, I've been hearing about that Magewell before, but I've never heard of it before. But in the last week, I've kept hearing about it, and it seems to do quite a good job.
It actually is good. It does a really good job with the video, and you don't have to really do anything. I guess you could. I'm not sure how you would do some other thing. If you don't want to bring the audio and you just mute the audio from it and put audio from an external source, but it'll bring in audio as well. We put it on vMix. We had a little bit of an audio issue, but that could have been our setup or the way we set up inputs. I'm not sure. Or it's got a funky HDMI input coming in. We're trying to figure that one out. But the video, perfect. It was clean. It was actually pretty darn clean.
Yeah, but that's another thing. I've got to get myself either a new machine for down here, either Windows or Mac. But I think by the sounds of it, I'll get something like that Asus that you've got there. That sounds like a good streaming machine as well.
Yeah, it could definitely stream. We also bought a secondary one. We got a lease from Dell, and they made it really affordable. So we added an Alienware. Oh, I forgot what model it was, but that was 8 gigabytes of video RAM, a 980 GTX, a little bit better. It also came with 32 gigabytes of main memory, a 500 gigabyte SSD, and it was only $400 more than the other one. So we'll have two. One will be a backup for the other one.
I saw, Rick, I was looking at the highlights of NAB this week, and saw another camera you might like to get was a Phantom Flex. Have you heard of them?
Phantom Flex. No, is that a DJI?
No, it's called Phantom Flex. It's just a normal.
Okay.
They're usually higher price, but this one claims to be an affordable camera, but they haven't announced the price. So who's affordable it might be. But one of it's called the VEO 640, and one of the things it can do is does the 4K video, but at 1500 frames per second.
1500? Oh man! So 10,000
and then it does
minimum there.
1080p. Does 1080p at 3000 frames a second.
Isn't that like those slow motion cameras that they use to see how fast the bullet flies? Or wow.
But this is one that it says, because usually they're quite expensive, and they keep claiming this one's going to be affordable. But I thought if it's 2,000 or 3,000, that's in the affordable to me. But that would be great to have. You could do some great things with that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
We could get Clark's help with his gun collection, and we can take some videos.
That would be interesting. Yeah, you could see the bullet flying out of the barrel, heading.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I've seen that on, I don't know if it was Discovery or one of those that showed like the Ultimate Warrior, I think it was, and they would show in slow motion how something hit, like a sword hit something. It was amazing. And one of the guys was blocking a bullet with his sword, and he did it. He actually got it. And you could see it in slow motion as it's coming. He moves the sword, and you just see it slightly deviating it. He just barely touched it. That's pretty cool.
As you was mentioning about drones as well before, Rick, I also saw coming out of NAB was an accessory that you can mount on your drone now, which is a parachute that you can remotely trigger it, so it sends out the parachute. So if you lose your power, it just deploys, and then your drone floats back nicely down to earth.
That's funny.
Which is
just funny.
Which is it's good though, not for the person owning it, but to save me getting hit on the head with a drone. So
you're looking up, going, "Oh, look, there's a drone coming down at me. It's about to hit me."
I also saw from all the highlights I've been seeing of NAB this year, it seems to be pretty much one of the big things that everybody wants is stabilization and movement of cameras.
Yeah.
That seems to be more important than the actual cameras themselves, really. It seems to be how you move them, how that you stabilize them, and that seems to be everybody had one. I've seen there was a Canon TV had this like a big scissor type thing that went to, what was it, about 15 feet or something out on the thing, so it was scissored thing, and it was fantastic, but it came with the tripod and everything, and I think it was about $1,500. It sounded expensive, but to get those shots you wanted, it was really good.
Yeah. You know, in the old days, before DSLRs became the major filming video thing, the cameras were pretty stable. The camcorders were very stable. Yeah. We're doing all of this because of DSLRs. It's just sort of interesting.
And there was another thing I was seeing was, I don't know if you know One Beyond.
Yes.
They put out I was seeing the PTZ cameras, the pan to tilt and zoom cameras, but they've got one out there that's auto follows. And said that's nothing unusual, but it does that with vMix when you have these auto follows or whatever. But this one's an independent camera, so whatever you plug it into, Skype or anything, you don't need a big thing. It'll just auto follow, point on the person, and it'll just auto follow them. So great for lecture theatres or things where you're moving around a bit and don't have any operator.
That's pretty cool.
There's some great things coming out.
We haven't bought a PTZ, but maybe by the end of the year we'll get one. That'll be kind of fun having it in the studio. And, you know, if we had a lot of live guests, it would be fun because then you could just
Yeah.
immediately switch to everybody, but we don't. So, but it still could be fun.
What it would be good for, though, is if you're doing your own thing, if you're in, like, say, your boardroom and you're moving around showing people from this to this. So you're not just in front of the screen, you can walk to another part of the room and do that yourself. That'd be very good. So, because some of the times you feel when you're on your own, you can do a better quality than somebody else standing behind the camera.
Right. A lot of fun stuff. Only so much money.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, we are at the end of our show.
Oh,
For about 50
goes so
minutes.
quickly.
It goes 50 minutes goes fast. It does go fast.
Yep. And all I'm thinking of the whole 50 minutes is what can I spend more and what gear can I buy? So that's a sickening thing.
I don't know. This might be a good idea. I have to let you know.
No, you can't convince me on that. But there might be a Nikon D750. I think that might be still on the boards.
The D750 is nice. I really do like it. The quality, when I take pictures on the Canon, they're nice. When I take pictures on the GH4 or the GX8, they're not bad. But when I take pictures on the Nikon, I just go, wow, that looks great. It's something about that color and everything, really pretty.
Well, I was watching Tony Northrup did one the other week about the history of Canon, which was quite interesting, if you had a look at that.
I haven't seen that yet.
I never realised that their sensors was always a little bit smaller than Nikon. So the Nikon always had a little bit better quality picture because their sensor was always a little bit bigger.
Interesting.
So I thought, but why it was quite strange why they did that. But anyway.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's why Nikon still does has that bit of an edge, I think, most of the time.
Yeah. And Nikon's using Sony sensors. Go figure. So I don't know if Canon is. Maybe they are too. That'd be interesting. I thought they had their own. Yeah, it's an interesting world. Well, Jeff, I will see you next week. I think we have a guest next week. I just don't remember who right now. But I believe we do have a guest. And
good.
Any plans for the weekend? Going to go do some shit? Well, it is your weekend already. Any plans for today for you?
It is Saturday, yes. So I plan. It's just started raining today, but I mean, I'll still hopefully get out and do some filming of some sort or other. But last week I did finished off a bit of my Osmo. I sent you a bit of a video that I did on the Osmo on the bike, but I've been out and about with that. But as I said, during the week, I found all my accessories for my Osmo, so that made me a little bit happier.
You know what? I think I saw your note, but for some odd reason, I didn't see the video. Was that on email?
I sent you a link.
Was that Twitter?
I sent you a link on the email from the Dropbox. It's in your account. So.
Let me go look for it. I think I saw that early in the morning. By the time my afternoon rolled, I slipped out of my mind. So let me go back and look at that one. Because those are always fun. Alrighty, well, all you people watching, we are now on Vimeo again, and it is, you can go to vimeo.com/channels/techdownover, all one word, TECHDOWNOVER, Tech Down Over. And we'll always do the live shows on YouTube, so this is what you're seeing right now. Have a good one, everybody. Jeff, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye for now.